back, Cambria Heights. To start our newscast, we'll be talking about our most recent accomplishment, which is being redesignated as a Schools to Watch school. The PAMLE, Pennsylvania Middle Level Education, had their annual conference this weekend. In that conference, our middle school was redesignated and recognized as a Schools to Watch school.
Middle school teachers presented on numerous topics. Here's a list of presenters and presentation titles. Mr. Blake and Mrs. Albright, CHMS TV. Mr. Ruff and Mr. Blake again, cross-curricular tech ed and computer science. Miss Crandall, Mrs. Fetzko, and Mr. Krug with cross-curricular bias and propaganda unit. Mr. Beer and Mr. Fees, co-teaching in a virtual environment. Dr. Wharton, how to build self-efficacy in science education.
Now on to Ian and Isaac with Miss Crandall, Mrs. Fetzko, and Mr. Krug on their outstanding cross-curricular bias and propaganda unit video.
The Propaganda and Bias Unit was a fun and educational activity. All 8th grade teachers designed an activity for all students to complete.
Activities range from slide presentations to lecture. One thing that it made me realize is that propaganda is everywhere, like in our books and commercials.
Bigfoot fact: is Bigfoot real? Here's the first video ever recorded of the mysterious creature. It was back in 1964 in Northern California. Breaking news, this just in. Here's Kendra with a possible sighting of Bigfoot.
On a rainy night last week at the RSG After School program, security cameras picked up what we believe to be the newest Bigfoot sighting. Witnesses had this to say.
What did you see on that night?
It was big and it was ugly, really ugly.
See anything on that night?
No, but there was an awful odor.
After careful video editing, Mr. Blake has been able to sharpen this picture using various software.
Huh?
Here is the actual footage.
Oh, wait a second, it's just Mr. Raw.
So was Bigfoot actually spotted at Cambria Heights Middle School? The answer is sadly no. It actually turned out to be Mr. Rowe. So catch us next time on Cambria Heights Fact or Fiction.
Now on to Bryce, Hayden, and Mitchell with a recap on this year's boys and girls junior high basketball seasons.
Welcome to this brand new segment, CHMS Sportscast. The winter sports are wrapping up. Today we will be taking an in-depth look at the Highlander sports teams, including boys basketball, girls basketball, and wrestling.
The girls basketball team went 7-5. They were coached by Mrs. Brzezinski and Mrs. Eckenrode. Here's May Dutko with a few words about their season.
I think our team did pretty good, ending with a record of 7-5. My most memorable moment was making fun of Gracie for drinking plain milk, and of course Brooklyn's face plant.
The boys team recorded 4 wins and 6 losses. The team was coached by Mr. Strasser and Mr. Lovick.
Here's Stephen Nealon with a few words about their season.
At the beginning of the year, we weren't great, but as the season went on, we got better and ended up winning 3 of our last 4 games. My favorite memory of the basketball season was beating Northern by 25 last week at our home court.
Next up, we will talk about wrestling. They were coached by Mr. Terza this year.
Here is Braylon Ribbaum with a summary of their season.
Our season went pretty good. We all placed at Mountain Conference, and we had a pretty good team this year. My favorite memory of this season was when we had a whole conversation about how Lions talk to each other.
That wraps up this week's Sportscast.
Make sure you pay attention to announcements for important information about the upcoming spring sports.
Where's Gina?
I don't know. Let's start anyways.
Okay. This week we asked people if they could guess who these staff members of Cambria Heights Middle School are. But there's a twist.
We showed the students pictures of the staff members' old yearbook pictures.
So sit back and enjoy these interviews.
Do you know who this teacher is?
Yes, Mrs. Scott.
Do you recognize this teacher?
I think that is Mrs. Albright.
Do you recognize this teacher?
Yes. Mrs. Terza.
Do you recognize this teacher?
I would say Mr. Wooten. Dr. Wooten. Hi, who do you think this teacher is?
Dr. Wharton. Do you recognize this teacher?
I think that's Miss Scott.
Do you recognize this teacher?
That is definitely Miss Sowers.
Do you recognize this staff member?
Yes, I think it is Mr. Lewis.
Hey, Cambria Heights Middle School, welcome back. And just like you have been hoping for, I am back with a new dance move of the week. This newscast is yearbook themed, so what better thing to do than a dance move I actually did in my class this year. Hit it, DJ.
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah in that Sancho that she's bound. I'd pop a.
Interesting. Hey Mal, how did the bee get to school?
I don't know, Al.
A school buzz. Thanks for watching this week's newscast. Hope you enjoyed it.